Happy Friday, everyone out there in KBBT land. How are y'all doing this evening? Whew, it's Friday. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. I don't know how y'all's week was. Mine, a little stressful, but not as stressful as it's going to be for these anglers coming up in the round of 32 on Saturday and then the round of 16 on Sunday, trying to punch that ticket to the 8 house. As always, guys, the show is brought to you by Motor Guide, Ray's Eyewear, Tourney Tag, Eford Outdoors, Kayak Angler Solutions, Amped Outdoors, and Westbrook Supply Co. Guys, if you get a chance, please check out the website at bassbracket.com. We got merch on there. It's on sale. Get it. You'll be looking good. I mean, when you come on live on camera on KBBT, you guys need to be looking good. Don't be coming on our show all scrubbed out now. You can check us out on Instagram if you're looking for more content at KBBT Fishing, YouTube right here at Bass Bracket Tour. Well, that takes care of the homework section, ladies and gents. I've got a live event Saturday. Your boy's going to be fishing. We've got some nasty weather in Texas. It was hailing on me like 10 minutes ago, so I thought y'all might get a nice popcorn sound in the background the whole podcast, but thankfully that stopped. Our guest for tonight, man, let's get right into it. This guy, he fishes 2 local trails that I've fished, and I didn't really get to know him till this year, and man, he is just an awesome dude, huge East Texas celebrity, hard guy to beat in live events. I mean, he really is. Knows his lakes well, sticks to what he does well, and man, he's a force in that sense. And he actually fished a live event in the round of 64. And last I saw him, he was hauling booty on that trolling motor to get back to the shore. Made a last minute move. Car broke down. I mean, crazy stuff. Like, he'll have to tell you all this story. But he runs over and they shut the leaderboard off. I had no idea how my boy was doing. And we'll have to find out how that went. Welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. John Mooney. Big Moon, how you doing, homie?
What's going on, Blake?
Oh, man, dude. I'm happy it's Friday, and I'm happy to see you, brother. How you doing, man?
TGIF.
No, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, I told the people a little bit about last I saw you during the round of 64. What'd you have, 86 inches?
87.
87.
Yeah.
You were doing pretty good in the live event, man. I think you were tied for first, right?
Yeah, that guy was ahead of me with a kicker fish. We were 87 to 87. And let me tell you, with I made the mental call about 11:45 to go ahead and pick up. I think at 11:40, I snatched up a 17-incher, which put me 1 inch ahead of Kyle at the time. And it's a hard decision to know you're in a live event. You have a chance at first. Or to cash a check, and with 3 hours left, to just pull up and go to another lake and solely fish KBBT.
Yeah, man. Come to find out, one of them boys had some kickers. He was saying back, old Robert Harris put it on us. He found something somebody else didn't. But, I mean, I think 88 inches took second and third. I mean, you definitely could have cashed a check there. I mean, you had tons of time to get one upgrade. I mean, that was really all you needed. But I saw you on the way out. Me and you were doing pretty similar things at different parts of the lake. And I saw you and had that trolling motor going. It was like blowing 20, man. We were getting rocked out there. I was fishing Main Lake. And you were like, man, I'm moving. I'm out. Yeah. And I see you head back to the ramp. But that wasn't where that story ended. I mean, you went back to the ramp, and then what happened?
No, so as I got over there to the ramp, there was another kayak fisherman there fishing that very first dock, and honestly, I'm not good with names. I've met him before. Older gentleman, real good guy. He goes, "Man, aren't you the guy with the red Hummer?" And I was like, "Yeah, what's up?" And he said, "Dude, your running lights have been on all day." And I was like, "Lovely, here we go." And so, he offered. He was like, "Man, I'll run up there and jump you off." And I said, I'll appreciate it, but let me check it out. And got up there, and sure enough, click, click.
Oh no,
So
not good.
there was a guy with his wife and kids out there, I guess, doing a little picnic, and he had a little jump starter, battery tender jump starter, and he plugged that thing in. She cranked right up. I loaded up, and even as I was pulling out the ramp, I had 2 lakes on my mind, and I was just like, which way,
Right.
Finally decided on one, and about 10 miles before I got to my launch there, I lost my drive shaft. So, yeah. Good times.
Good times, brother.
Well, and I should have had about 3 hours on my second lake, 3 solid hours of fishing. And I got a hold of my wife. She was off, and called my mom, and I was like, "Hey, bring me Pop's truck." And had my mom follow my wife up there, and I immediately hooked the kayak trailer up. I grabbed 2 rods, my terminal tackle box, and my worm box, and I shagged. Mom and my wife, they unloaded the Hummer. I mean, as I was hooking up, the tow truck was pulling up. I mean, he was there to pick it up. But yeah, I wound up losing an hour and a half there. After I got launched and everything, that was another half hour. So I had a little less than a half hour, or excuse me, a little less than an hour to fish. I had 3 key spots on my mind, and rolled up to the first one, threw over top of a log, and as I was coming over the log, I mean, it loaded up. I give it some slack, and she run under the log and then started back at me. I made the ugliest hook set you've ever seen in your life.
Oh, I bet, dude. I wish I could have seen that old Big Moon hook set.
Oh, dude, that Hobie was swaying side to side. I mean, I looked like I was trying to rip some lips out of it.
Right.
And the fish jumped straight up in the air as I made that ugly hook set, and it just slung the bait. And I knew it was a 19, 20-inch fish easy. There were some 4-letter words.
Sure. I've said a couple of those myself.
Between the breakdowns and stuff, I was on tilt. I mean, just honestly, I have my moments on the water.
Yes, sir. There's self-help groups for that.
Yeah, I probably need to join about 3 of them. I finally composed myself, got rigged back up on my soft plastic, went around a point. Same situation from the other side where I just missed a good fish, and tossed in there, hooked up, 19 3/4.
My man.
And I got her in the net, and I was like, yes. Got the pictures taken, moved down about 5 yards, pitched up in there again. I think that was a 19 1/2. And I'm going, okay, I know that bank line very well. When I can get 3 fish like that, bam, 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 I know they're stacked on that bank. And my other 2 spots were actually off of that bank. I had to force myself to slow down and finish fishing that bank line before I moved to those other two spots. Because I mean, the time's counting down.
Right.
Leaderboard was down. I knew Kyle Schroder is. Oh man, he's an excellent fisherman.
Yeah, he
I've
is.
seen him put up big numbers. Fished against him many times.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew he was on Fairfield. I mean, Fairfield would just start giving up 20s, 22s.
We all know what Fairfield can do. If you live in Texas and you don't know what Fairfield can do, don't go fish it. It's not a very good lake. But if you know about it, then
don't go there.
don't go there. You don't want to know about it. But I mean, I was, we had kind of been watching. I mean, you were fishing a live event. We kind of watching the board, and you started off real hot. I mean, you got to that 87 quick.
Yeah.
Schroder had been creeping up throughout the day, and he had finally gotten to about a half inch within your score. And then you made that move, had all the issues, and like board was down, and like I wasn't calling you to be like, man, how you doing or anything. I knew you're maybe on mega tilt, and I didn't want to take that ass to but man, you got it done. Got them upgrades.
Yeah.
Got them sent in.
I was able to put one more on the board before time expired.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was a 17 and a half, and I think I called a 17 with that one. So ultimately, I upgraded 6 inches in less than an hour. I had 96 inches, I believe. And I mean, I was comfortable. I knew I'd done all I could do. My big fish bite on Nacogdoches was just not there.
And, I caught, that was the weirdest live event I've ever fished. I was so on them and so not on them. I just 15, 16 inches all day.
Absolutely. Yeah.
All day. Frustrating tournament.
Definitely.
Just could not get that big bite. Man, speaking about that live tournament, I had a really cool interaction with a young man at the boat ramp, and he had fished our tournament. His first tournament. He had a up and down day. He had a part share the lead for a while. He had lost like a 7-pounder, and he was like, "Man, I can't fish this tournament because of John Mooney." And I thought that was so cool, man. The outreach and getting the young people involved in the local trails that you've been doing, man. That's just awesome. I love that.
Yeah, I met Hunter. I think about three weeks ago. He had messaged me online. I do quite a bit of posts in the East Texas group and the Southeast Texas, Northeast Texas group. And man, he reached out to me and we got to chatting and stuff. He was a boat guy, trying to get into the kayak fishing tournaments. And just we'd sit down for the evenings and message each other for hours, answering questions, asking questions. And that's one of the main reasons why I chose to fish that live event, honestly.
Yeah.
I enjoy helping people out, pulling new people into the kayak scene, and just builds my group of friends. I was
going to tell you, John, if you could start vetting him a little better. I mean, you threw this kid in there. It's his first tournament, and he don't even got his right electronics on there, and he was hammering them. So recruit him a little less skilled, my man. You're making us look bad.
Well, as we were going through the start of that morning, I finally, I had 3 fish in. I don't typically post fish right after I catch them. I'll usually get 2 or 3 caught, and then I'll sit back, and especially if I'm on tilt, that helps me calm down, focus in on the electronic, and get submitted. I got on there. I started submitting my 3 fish, and I look up there on the leaderboard, and Hunter's number 1, and I'm like, wow. Last I saw him, he was behind me, fighting those big waves coming out the ramp, and he passed the high line and shot over to the west side of the lake. He had told me he had his ideas, and I was like, more power to you, brother. Do your thing.
Oh yeah.
And, he actually showed up to the ramp a little earlier than I did. Had a chance to meet Dwayne Taft. I reached out to Dave Newman, Dwayne, and yourself, kind of give our veterans in the tournament a heads up. Hey, we've got a new guy coming in. Let's make him feel welcome. I enjoy having these guys come back. I enjoy fun fishing with anybody, and Hunter seems to be like good guy.
Man, really knowledgeable. I mean, I seriously sat there and talked to him for probably an hour just about fishing and stuff. And I mean, when he gets hooked like the rest of us are, he's going to be scary to go against, man. But I love just kind of what you're talking about. I mean, I love sharing that experience with what I love. Going to these lakes I would have probably never fished, breaking them down, the ups, the downs. I mean, that kind of stuff is so amazing, and it's hard to share that with people unless they're getting out
there. Yeah, definitely.
But I just thought that was really cool, and I wanted to share that. But this weekend, we've had some weather come in. I've got my ideas about what the fish should be doing, which is normally not correct. I'm assuming you're going to go back to the lake you made some good upgrades on, but you're facing the number 1 seed in that bracket in a Mr. Marty Hughes. If you don't know Marty Hughes, he is a hammer from Nebraska.
Yeah, I've done a little research, and Marty can definitely put up the numbers.
Yeah, he can.
I'm still on edge about it. I mean, nothing's guaranteed. You always have the luck factor. I beat myself up, man. Sleepless nights, wake up dreaming about this. I'm just that into it.
Well, I mean, so the weather we've got coming in for anybody that's not in Texas or paying attention to that kind of stuff. We've got some rain coming. It's a lot of rain and a little bit of a cold front. Is there an opportunity that getting that rain can help move those fish up a little shallower, create current? Because I'll tell you straight up, in my event, I'm fishing. I'm going to try to use that current, man. I want to try to use that as an advantage, and I'm hoping it's going to pin those fish up in some of that slack water.
Yeah, that's what that's my plan A as well. I love fishing the dirtier water. With this creek rising, so it's going to get the water moving a little bit. We've already got the shad spawn going on. I believe it's at the beginning stages, but I know the bass are feeding on them. As that water starts moving, those shad are going to be moving in that running water. Those bass are going to post up. Good Lord willing, they post up where I need them to. And, I've had days like that, and you just go out there and wear yourself out, 4, 5, 6 pounders. I mean, it can happen.
Boy, I hope I look up and see old Big Moon with a big 98 next to his name first thing. That's what I want.
I always shoot for the 100-inch. That can be a hard target to hit sometimes. This lake's let me down before, but it's cashed a lot of checks for me too. So
yeah. And I mean that's something that is unique about KBBT. I mean, you got to hit it. You not only have to pick your lake, but I mean, you got to hit it right. Uh-oh. Yeah, all right, we got you. You good?
Start static on this thing.
Yeah. Hold on just one second, John. Sorry, guys. Experienced a little technical difficulties there. Try to let Mooney get his stuff sorted out, and then we'll get him right back in here. Yeah, guys, we got a bunch of weather coming in. Like Mooney was saying, you try to get lined up and lined out on, making those minor adjustments. I mean, the bite he had last weekend, that's going to be amazing if that bite's still there. But you still got to go out every day and fish. I mean, even though he knows this lake well, and I mean, it's going to be the same thing for all of us guys out there at Palestine tomorrow. We've got some home lake guys and local guys sign up for tournaments, but it's a new day every time you get out there on the water. Excuse me while I have a little Friday party time drink. Adult beverage. But man, Mooney is taking on the 1 seed, Marty Hughes. Marty had a little rough weather this week. I'm interested to see if Marty's going to move. I think that could be a big factor in the way this matchup goes. If he chooses to stay and fish that real cold water, he had told us that his females had not moved up yet, guys. If he chooses to stay and fish that, I mean, maybe they've moved up and Marty can get on some good ones, but I'm thinking he's going to have to move a little bit. All right, John, we got you back, my man.
Yeah, sorry about that, guys. This dang East Texas service is crap.
Amen. I mean, how frustrating is it? It's 2021. Half the tournaments we fish, we ain't even got service half the tournament on these lakes, man. It kills me. Like, I hate it.
Yeah. And I've tried so many times to go live on the water, and man, it gets aggravating to have to reset everything and try and hop back on. You burn a lot of time doing that, and just at the mercy of these cell towers over here, man.
I'm telling you what, John, you're at the mercy of it right now, boy. Them East Texas towers ain't working with us right now, guys. You good? We in there? You got me, John?
What's that?
Said you got me? You good?
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with it.
Hey, that's all right, brother. All right, you're good there. You're good. All right, so John Mooney, man, somebody goes up to fish with old Big Moon. Best day of their life. That's like winning the lottery, getting to go fish with Big Moon. What you got 3 things tied on. I have an idea of what you'd say those 3 things would be. But why don't you tell everybody out there that don't know anything about John Mooney, 3 baits you always got tied on, a little bit about them.
Man, whenever I got started into this, that was following the big Dwayne Taft win with KBF. I had always been a pretty mediocre bass fisherman. I mean, I went out to put meat in the box. So I always Texas rig, flukes, little things like that. And reading his story on the jackhammers and stuff, I'm a fan.
Dude, I am too. We all in the church of the jackhammer. Blessed be.
Yeah,
but man, you jumped right into. Yeah. Oh my gosh, but you jumped right in, man. When I saw what that jackhammer cost the first time, I was like, "Y'all off your rocker." They got this custom chatterbait that's like $6. I ain't throwing that $17 contraption, whatever that is. It's the same thing. It got a blade. Well, it ain't the same thing. It ain't the same thing.
I was on that wagon as well, man. But once you make that change, and it just consistently produces better hookups, I feel those cheaper end ones, like the new cross-eyed, I throw it. I bought a handful of them, the black and blue. I did buy the white and chartreuse. I'm not a big white and chartreuse fan. I like my dark color stained water. But the hooks on them tend to soft. Make sure you have a file with you. You're going to roll that tip and possibly lose some fish. Just file it back down, put a little point back on it, and let her eat.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, jackhammer would be my number one.
Right.
Number two is going to be a Texas rig. And I use the Texas rig on everything from my creature baits to my worms, my swim baits, I Texas rig. So I usually have that tied on. And then I've got specific spinning setups for my Senkos.
Yeah, for your Senko. Yeah, I was like, I know you're a big wacky worm guy. I know that's definitely cashed you a couple of checks for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, whenever I'm not getting bit on the jackhammer and stuff, and I got to slow myself down, and I fish that Senko every different way you can. I mean, Texas rig, I'll cut them in half, put them on Ned. Just depends on if they want that smaller profile. Wacky rig, a lot. Nico.
Hey John, I'm sorry to cut you off here, buddy. Would you try rejoining one more time, man? The service is just the sound is a little rough. I apologize. Guys, I'm so sorry about that, man. We are having the East Texas connection issue. Again, it's 2021. I don't know why we can't have cell phone service everywhere. I hate that Mooney's having some issues with that right now, and I sure hope it's not on my end. Oh, sorry. Guys, what Mooney's talking about. I mean, when I'm asking these guys about baits, I mean, you'll notice that a lot of these guys that are doing well in these tournaments, man, they're not throwing 18 different things in a tournament. They work on 2, 3, maybe 4 things if they're real versatile, and they get dialed in on that bite, and they dial those baits in. I mean, I have a chatterbait rod after talking to certain guys that just do well on a chatterbait, man, and the setup matters. The baits. I think a lot of it's confidence, but that's how you build those confidence in those things is throwing and mastering that kind of stuff, man. And, Mooney's had a ton of success here in East Texas, flipping his Texas rigs around, throwing that worm and that jackhammer. I mean, anytime I talk to him, that's what he's doing. And I think there's a lot you can take from that. I mean, it ain't no secret us Texas boys throw the jackhammer, but I think you'd be surprised in how many conditions and how many lakes that bait stays tied on, man. For me, it's just, I think some of it's a confident thing. I think there's probably better spinnerbait bites and better swim jig bites. I mean, we have a guy out and fishes our trail, and he is super tough to beat. He actually just signed up for Palestine, man. I'm super excited he's fishing. His name's Andrew Middlebrook, and that guy he is nasty on a swim jig and a jackhammer. But I mean, he uses those 2 tools just so effectively, man, and he does it day in, day out, every tournament. Those guys are just hard to beat, man. They're hard to beat, and they are taking full advantage of utilizing certain baits and getting it down. I mean, we had Brian Nunziato on, and he's talking about that War Eagle spinnerbait. And, Rolando Nandon, who is using that jerk bait along the edge of the grass to draw bigger bites and over points. And, I'm not going to say they're specialists in that stuff, but they're utilizing their knowledge of those baits and experience in throwing them. All right, John, let's give it another go.
Let's try this.
All right. Hey, man, that's so much better. Thank you. I'm sorry, we had a little technical difficulty there. And, John, sorry for making you restart your phone again. But East Texas is trying hard to not let us have our fun.
Nice little lightning show going on over here, too.
I had a nice little thunder. Leo decided to say hello to everyone on the show. Give a couple barks,
Yeah.
So sorry you missed that, but Well, go ahead, man. All right. So, you were talking through your Texas rig, your Texas rig and your swim baits and your Senko. And I was just talking about, how these guys that are cashing checks, man, they're really focusing on two or three things, I mean, and you find the bite to utilize that and you use those as I guess your litmus test, to determine what bite is best for you, John Mooney, the fisherman. I mean, so many new guys that get into it. I tell them, if you're not throwing a wacky worm, you're trolling. And I mean that. I mean, it's such a powerful tool. I mean, Clifton Allen definitely made fun of me more than a couple times coming to my garage and seeing all the baits I have. And he was like, all you need is a white chartreuse jackhammer, a black and blue jackhammer, and a Senko, man. You don't need all this other crap.
Yeah, he's right. I mean,
I know.
Those three right there seem to cash a lot of checks.
I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. And I think that's, take it from me, from John Mooney, from every guy we've had on the show here, man. I mean, if you're getting started kayak fishing, get you two or three things you get real good at, and you're going to start having some success.
Yeah, and I mean that's one of the good things about the kayak community. It seems like at our weigh-ins, one of the biggest things that got me into it first was the camaraderie, just getting to know local guys around where I'm at, whether we wanted to get together, fun fish, come out to the house, barbecue, drink beer, crawfish, whatever. But it's the knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
I never really got real big into the bass boat tournament scenes. I fished a few of the locals, and it's more like a click oriented. It's like if you don't have the newest boat and the newest line of rods, and you're just kind of on the back burner. People are just kind of quiet. And I do understand those guys fish for a lot more money than we do. They're putting up $300 entries and up.
Sure.
But I was focusing in on, I needed more information, and the kayak community hands down provides that. Everybody is just more than willing to share electronic knowledge, baits that they're catching their big fish on, and retain that information. If you hear 3 or 4 people saying the jackhammer's working, you might buy you one.
I don't know how much money Mr. Clifton Allen has cost me, man.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, man! He told me just go buy one, and I did. And
Greg put on a one lure challenge here a few months ago.
Oh yeah.
And I jumped on there immediately, and I picked the chatterbait. So
got to.
Got to. But just to sit back and watch everybody else's choices, I pay attention to that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That Matt Kasparek out of Florida, I think he was team Big Mistake. I had never seen that lure in my life. And, he's throwing up Florida monsters with that thing. And so I Googled it, I got on there, I ordered me a couple. Maybe they'll work over here in Texas.
Right.
On our F1s, Dude, I got these baits in, and they look like something you're going to catch whales with. I mean, they're huge.
Right.
The terminal tackle on them is just way overboard, in my opinion. But I've thrown those a few times. I've had some good blow-ups on them. I haven't landed a fish on it yet. But I literally had them knock it about 3 foot up in the air. They hit at it so hard. But it's little information like that the kayak community shares. It just makes it a joy to be around. Go to your weigh-ins, talk to people, introduce yourself.
Right.
You're gonna find people that want to share. You will find people that don't want to share.
Oh yeah, that's always, man. I mean,
Yeah, definitely. But by far, I found more people sharing in this than anything. So
yeah, absolutely. I 100% agree with everything you said. I mean,
I
that's
mean,
just
I've got things that I'm trying to work on this year. I suck at crankbaiting. I know you're big on crankbaits. Uh, that new gentleman Hunter,
mm-hmm.
he seems to be really good on crankbaits, deep ones. You know, if people want to share information, I'm gonna be a sponge. I'm gonna suck it up
All right.
and just try and add that to my arsenal. You know,
Yeah, I mean, I think there's always room for more techniques, but like I was saying earlier, I mean, I've tried hard to make that crankbait bite work on a lot of these East Texas lakes because I have a lot of confidence throwing a crankbait. I mean, I really do, and if I get around wood, I'll throw that crankbait. But a lot of these East Texas lakes, especially when they got like that, I don't know what to call it, like snot grass or
yeah,
we get some of that algae bloom. Man, it's a no go, man. I mean, you
it's a
gotta
hassle.
you,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
gotta keep that swim jig locked in your hand. And I mean, I've had in tournaments so much more success throwing a swim jig and a chatterbait than I ever have on a crankbait. I mean, if it was a primarily rock fishery, that's a different story. But on these East Texas trails that you and I fish, Northeast Texas and East Texas, man, you better know that way around that jackhammer. I'm telling you. I'm telling you.
definitely.
Man, and it's so funny to me. I mean, it's cold up north, and I watched I think it was Shad Schaefer's video, guy out of Kansas. Man, I watched his video, and it's 50 degrees up there, and he's throwing a jackhammer.
I
He's catching
throw it
all
year
his fish
round.
on a black and blue jackhammer.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, honestly, I throw it year round.
Yep.
I'm gonna. That's gonna be my first cast.
Oh yeah.
I mean, even if I'm an hour before sunlight, I'm throwing that black and blue jackhammer. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I fished the Lone Star Throwdown year before last. We got out there and for 2 days, I mean, it was windy bad.
Mm-hmm.
Could not get on the water. We finally wound up with a half a day of pre-fishing. I think my buddy put one fish in the boat, and I just kind of threw my hands up and figured, hey, I'm donating. Uh, I wasn't on anything. I didn't know the lake,
All right.
and I get out there 3 minutes in, I've got a 23 plus fish on a black and blue jackhammer.
Oh
I
my
mean,
gosh.
it calls to me.
I'm telling you, man.
I
You know something, man. I mean,
Yeah.
23 plus. I don't catch very many of those,
Well,
man.
and shoot, I'd asked the TD Duke. I said, man, what do you think big bass is going to be? And he's like, oh man, you catch a 21 incher, you got big bass. And I was like, okay. And when you whack a 23 plus, I think it was a 23 and a quarter.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, right off the bat, you're like, money.
Money.
And
So did you end up winning big bass?
no, Matthew Scotch caught one that was like a 23.75. I had big bass. I think it was 3/4 of the way through the day. He also wound up winning the tournament first place, and that dude is a heck of a fisherman on those
Yeah, he is.
North Texas lakes, and that's just that way out of my comfort zone. Way too much rock, not enough grass.
I'm telling you, man. It's I live that life. I live that life, man. I think about how good my home lake would be with grass all the time, and it's just a sad reality that I ain't got it. That's just how it is. Mooney, what's the biggest bass you ever caught in your kayak?
In a kayak was a 25 and a quarter.
What a way.
That was on, what's that?
What did it weigh?
That one was 9.3, I believe.
Golly.
She was very, very poor. This was caught in July.
Oh yeah.
I mean, she was just looked like she was starving to death.
Mm-hmm.
That is my longest fish. That was out of Lake Nacogdoches, that newest lake we have here in East Texas.
Right.
Nacogdoches have some of the longest fish in this area.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you're going for length.
What about weight wise? What's your biggest out of a kayak?
Weight wise was a 11.2.
Yep.
And
In a live event.
In a live event, correct.
Yep.
The one that I'd caught before that, and it was actually in a stock pond, was an 11.01. And I had a replica made of her. The 11.02 in a live event was just, I'll take that to the grave with me. I mean, I had people around me. There was another boat across from some buckbrush, and it was just mind blowing. I mean, when you say you're in it for the thump, buddy, that was a thump.
Oh, I'll bet. I'll bet. So
I mean, it felt like somebody just kind of punched you in the arm. Just love those big fish bites.
I'm actually fishing this live event. I'm across the way, and I hear some boy in a kayak. I mean, just get to hooting and hollering, and I'm like, "What is that guy on about?" And I look over, and I mean, I'm far, and I see him hold this fish up, and I'm like, "Oh my!" I should be able to see that fish from right here, and I can't. I mean, it is a giant. And I see, boat come over, and I assume he's getting pictures taken and all that stuff. And I get on later, and I see some guy I don't know named John Mooney. Hey, he caught me this 11.2 today. Boat came over and took a picture with me and let me weigh it, and I was like, "Oh, that's that maniac I saw screaming in the car."
Yeah, there was quite a few people heard me in that one. And, those guys were actually fishing a tournament. It was a father and son. They heard me hollering, and he was like, "How big is it?" And that's only my second double-digit fish. But when she come up and she opened that mouth, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you truly know if that's a double-digit. And oh man, I mean, that's just a memory that like I said, I'm gonna take to my grave. But she come up, tail walked, and it was like really slow motion. Those guys hollered back, "How big is it?" And I was like, "I don't know, but I know she's a double."
Yeah.
And I got her in the net, and I was like, "Hey, would y'all mind coming by and taking a few pictures?" And he's like, "We're on our way now." And they come over, and I handed them my phone. They snapped a few pics and got her up on the leaderboard. We put her on the scale and submitted that one to Toyota Sherlonker.
Oh, that's awesome, man.
Yeah, that was my first. So got my free hat on that one.
My man. Big hat fan.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I had a pretty similar day. I think I rounded my day out with like a 10.5-inch spotted bass. I caught flipping buckbrush, so pretty similar. 10.5. Yeah, we talk about that. That's old Marcus and I. We talk about it. You catch one of them, you just say, "Yeah, I caught a 10 today."
Yeah.
10 inches.
And man, the funniest deal about that was, I mean, it was later in the day. I mean, you're talking 1 o'clock probably.
Mm-hmm.
It was
warmest
part of the day, and that's all I was doing was just flipping buckbrush. But I had won the East Texas championship on a tree probably 20 yards from there the year before.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I guess that's just one of those spots that for some reason attracts big fish. I can't tell you what it is. I don't know. Maybe there's some type of different grass growing in that little area. Maybe there's a deeper trough feeding into it.
Oh boy, we have been cell phone serviced again. Again, guys. Man, I'm sorry, y'all. Like, this is just the world we're living in right now. Mooney ain't got no service out there where he lives. We're gonna start a GoFundMe for cell towers in Mooney's area, and that's just what we're gonna have to do, guys. I mean, I know y'all want to talk to Mooney, but that service just don't want us to talk to old Big Moon tonight. You know, that's what we're up against. It's bad weather here, and I don't know if the service out there is that good, anyways. But man, I'll tell you what though, that Mooney catching that big fish, and that we were on Sam Rayburn. Man, I'd never seen anybody catch anything like that in a kayak. I mean, I just started kayak fishing. I mean, I knew guys that, you know, I'd caught some 4 or 5 pounders out of there, but nothing like an 11-2, man. I mean, you just being out there and seeing that, and knowing these guys I was fishing against were doing that, that completely changed my mindset. I mean, I realized how little I really knew about, you know, bass fishing and what these bigger fish were doing. I mean, I just it just blew my mind. That's the best way to say it. All right, Mooney, we trying again. We ain't quitting. We ain't no quitters here, boy.
Hey, that one just completely cut out. My brother actually just texted me from Virginia. He's a sailor there in Norfolk. He said we need to start a GoFundMe for all these East Texas cell phone towers.
Well, man, your brother said the exact same thing I said while you were gone. I said, we're starting a GoFundMe for John Mooney's. It's a cell sour service project. We're going to try to get you hooked up, man. Try to get AT&T or Verizon or whoever you have to get things right out there, man. Because, man, I've had a lot of people wanting to hear from John Mooney this week. I mean, people knew you were coming on, and I hate that we're having this service issue, brother. It kills me. You're just going to have to come here to my house, and we're going to have to sit down with some whiskey and record a video for the people.
Oh, I don't know how much recording we would get done with whiskey. Ask Jason Campbell about me and some whiskey.
I will do that, man. I love Soup. I love Soup, man. That guy is awesome. Big fan. Big
7 and Diet Mountain Dew, baby.
Dude, I know. I can't believe you drink 7 and Diet Mountain Dew, man. That is he let me have a sip of that at Fork, and I can tell you I'm not a 7 and Diet Dew fan, man. I'm sorry to let y'all both down. I feel like a failure.
That's the only
that ain't me, boy. That ain't me. No, I drink mine with ice. That's it. Gets watered down a little bit, and then it's like perfect.
Oh, come on, stick that finger out.
my man. Man, Mooney, would you say Rayburn is your best live event lake?
Yes. Yeah, I would have to say Rayburn.
I think so too, man. I think you're an absolute hammer on that lake. There is the Hobie BOS coming up on Rayburn.
June 5th and 6th, I believe.
I think so. Man, I got you, man. I think that's the tournament you could win, boy.
Man,
I ain't trying to gas you up too much, but
I saw my boy Hal. He's going to be there. You know.
Oh my gosh, man! God, Brian Hal is on fire. He is on fire.
Hey, I love Hal to death. When it comes down to me fishing against him, he's got one of the biggest targets on his back. And I mean, and I love that. You know, I've talked with Hal, you know, quite a bit, and just super laid back guy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think the guy's got a mean bone in his body, but understanding what fish do and his techniques, it's working for him.
Oh man, yeah. There's no doubt that.
I hope to do good. You know, I flip buck brush, I fish the grass, pads, and I mean, I've got my honey holes over there. I'll hit them first, and if I'm not producing there, I'll try and figure something else out. But that's about how I run through my live events.
Yeah, man. For guys that don't fish in Texas, look, I mean, you know, I know Florida's really competitive. I know a lot of these places, New York, you know, Michigan, Kansas, Iowa, Virginia, all these places, North Carolina, that have kayak clubs. You know, Louisiana, California. I know they are competitive, but man, you can fish any trail you want in Texas. You ain't getting an easy pass.
No.
You pick any trail you want, you're going to have to – it don't matter how big the tournament is neither. It could be 30 people, and there's going to be 10 guys in there that are good. I mean, the one tournament I won, I had to beat Clifton, Brian Howell, Silas Garrett, Stephen Fisher, Mark Coates. I mean, yada, yada, yada. And it was only like 30 people. I mean, it was just stupid stacked, man. I mean, you know, we've got guys here that it'll make you a better fisherman if you'll get out and spend the time doing it, because you ain't going to get one of those days where things are just free and you can put up 80 and walk away with a check. I mean, someone's going to catch 90.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. Somebody's going to be on the fish.
It blows my mind, man. We go out and it's the worst conditions in the world. And I'm like, yeah, no one catch them today. I put up like 72. And someone comes in, they're like 98.
Yeah.
Like, I don't get it. I like some of those guys, man, they're just, it's insane to me, man. It really is. It's really crazy. Man, John, if people want more John Mooney, where can they find you at, brother?
Man, I don't have an Instagram or anything like that set up. I'm on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
I've stuck with Facebook for years. I'm a member of just about every kayak club here in the state of Texas.
Mm-hmm.
I try to follow everybody.
Sure.
East Texas is my home. I fish with those guys a lot, but I do venture out. I started fishing with the Northeast Texas group. That's Jeremy Baker, Jamie Broad, Adam Harbuck, and all them, and then Chris Morales and his guys. I got too many friends strung out all over the state. You know, it's hard to really shoot for a single trail and concentrate on Angler of the Year when you have just such great company.
I fully hear that, man.
And I try and make everybody's, you know, a few of everybody's tournaments. I like to make the throwdown. The year that I went, I had a blast. But Facebook, I think it's under Stephen Mooney. Check out the East Texas Club. Hit me up there.
Mm-hmm.
If anybody's watching this that's wanting to get into kayak fishing, they haven't pulled the trigger and spent the money on a quality kayak, but really want to feel for it, hit me up. I've got spare Hobies. I've got a trailer that I can haul 2 of them on. We'll meet up, fun fish, and you know, just BS.
My man, dude. Hey, John Mooney, you are a great human being. I love you to death, man. Good luck on Saturday. Like, show out, brother. Show out, man.
Sure gonna try.
Oh, I know you will, man. But you're gonna do it. You're gonna do it. Have some faith, brother.
There won't be any sleep tonight. I promise you.
I'm right there with you, brother. I'm right there with you, man. Hey, thank you so much for your time, John. Sorry about the technical difficulties, man, but we'll do this another time for sure.
Definitely. Good luck to you out there, Marty.
Hey, good luck to Marty Hughes. Man, guys, thank you for sticking with us tonight. I am so sorry about the technical difficulties. I know Mooney is as well, man. Sorry, guys. Thank you for sticking with us. John is a great dude. If you are in Texas and you want to get involved in kayak fishing, hit myself or John Mooney up. If you guys want to get involved in KBBT, you can hit me up. You can find us on Instagram at KBBT Fishing, YouTube at Bass Bracket Tour. You can check out our website at bassbracket.com. Get some of that merch. Everything's on sale right now. Go check it out. Guys, do me a favor. Hit the subscribe button. It's free. It don't cost you nothing. And as always, thank y'all seriously so much for coming and hanging out tonight, listening to the show. It's a huge help. It allows us to keep doing it. I mean, thank y'all. I really do appreciate it. Guys, you need anything from me, you got suggestions for the show, you can find me on Facebook. You can find me on Instagram at BK_Bassin, BASSIN 24. Hit me up, man. Love to hear y'all suggestions. All right, y'all. I hope y'all have a wonderful weekend. Stay safe in this weather. Be safe out there. Tough lines. BK out.